Topping the news this Monday morning, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee is initiating investigations into possible abuse of power, corruption, and obstruction of justice by President Donald Trump. Congressman Jerry Nadler says he plans to request documents today from more than 60 members of President Trump's administration, family, and business. On Twitter, the president seemed to respond, calling it presidential harassment by crazed Democrats. Emergency response officials will spread out over the southeast today, assessing damage from several storms and tornadoes in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and Alabama. At least 23 people died when a tornado struck Lee County, Alabama. Officials fear the death toll may rise as search and rescue teams reach more areas. Closer to home, frigid temps in our region means school delays and closures. Delayed for 2 hours this morning, Billings Public Schools, Huntley Project, Park City, Lame Deer, Pryor Schools, Judith Gap, Forsyth, and Rapelje. Chief Dull-Knife College will start at 10 a.m., while a school district has a 1-hour late start. Laurel has a 2-hour bus delay, but no school delay. And schools canceling classes today are St. Charles Mission and St. Lebray Catholic Schools. This weekend's below-zero temps didn't stop shoppers from hunting down good deals at Billings' newest grocery store. Located on South 24th Street West near Central Avenue, Q2's David J. reports on Sunday's grand opening of Winco Foods.
It was a packed parking lot and customers waited in line even after some were let into the store early.
There's a lot of people here, but, just got to manage, get 2 carts.
I was hoping that the weather would keep people away and it wouldn't be so crowded.
A lot of people here, not just customers. We did talk with a distributor who brings some of the food here to the grocery store, and he was telling us Winco likes to make an event out of this, and we've seen that with a lot of customers who wanted to be here right at the grand opening.
Grand opening? Yeah. There should be some door prizes or something. No, but no, that's fine. But no, that's great.
I like it. It's big. It's easy to navigate.
It's like anything. It's a gamble, but it was fun. I go home and say I was one of the first ones in.
Some have already found their favorites in the 84,000 square foot building.
Lots of meat. I like to grill. I like to cook. Lots of pasta. Mainly the eggs and everything like that.
I like my French bread. The steaks are good. I love my mussels.
Winco management touts its low prices, which some customers say they have noticed.
Lots of great prices.
There's some stuff. The sales stuff is good buys, but they're about the same.
Prices are really good.
The prices are really reasonable.
Part of shopping at Winco is bagging your own groceries.
You can actually operate it yourself.
How important is it to have another store competition here?
I think it's really good.
The competition's good.
I'll be back again.
I hope they do well.
David J., MTN News, Billings.
And if you didn't have a chance to check it out on Sunday or decided to wait, that might not have been a bad idea. The average wait to check out on Sunday was an hour and a half. Winco also opened a new location in Helena Sunday morning. Meanwhile, as the 2019 Montana legislature returns to Helena this week to begin its second half, lawmakers will focus on hammering out the details of Montana's $10.4 billion state budget. A first draft of the budget is before the House Appropriations Committee starting Thursday. But as MTN's Mike Dennison reports, Democratic Governor Steve Bullock and majority Republicans may have some big bridges to build over a wide budget gap.
The first draft of the state budget, crafted by Republican-controlled subcommittees in the past 7 weeks, looks good on paper. It has an ending fund balance of almost $300 million, which Governor Bullock says is the cushion we need. It freezes college tuition and increases state money for public schools. It restores many services cut during last year's budget crisis. But that's only part of the picture. This is a page from the budget status sheet, released by legislative staff on Friday. It's a list of bills still alive that would reduce that bottom line. You go down to the total here, it's $150 million. And this list doesn't include some additional tax cut bills still in committee, or items that Governor Bullock wants added to the budget, like Medicaid expansion or state funding for preschool and special education. Republican Senate President Scott Sales says lawmakers and the Bullock administration need to scale back their expectations if the budget is to be balanced without tax increases, a stated goal of the GOP majority.
Certainly, we're taking a very jaundiced side to the increasing taxes on the people of Montana. We prefer to live within our means if we possibly can.
That stance has Bullock and fellow Democrats crying foul, saying it's too early to simply rule out any and all tax increases.
There's certainly some legislators that have said any increase in revenues is dead on arrival, but I think that taking that sort of frame would certainly do a disservice to Montanans if we're going to take out half of the equation, the discussion.
Bullock is proposing higher taxes or fees on liquor, lodging, tobacco, and investment advisors, bills that will be introduced this month. But Democrats aren't the only party proposing things that impact the budget's bottom line. Republicans in the Senate approved a bill last week to cut state income taxes on Social Security benefits, a $36 million a year reduction. And as noted by Bullock's budget director, many of the additional spending bills still alive are sponsored by Republicans.
The majority party, they're also a source of a lot of these spending bills that come in, so they see the need for some of this as well. Bottom line is we've got to be able to pay for it. There are a lot of good ideas out there.
But as Mr. Livers said, those good ideas cost money. Deciding which ones are worth paying for and how to do it, that's what lawmakers must do this final half of the session. At the Capitol, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
And in other news, a new statewide publication will tell you about antique shops and events in almost every town in Montana. Montana Antiques and Vintage Directory publisher Jen Laram says she's always enjoyed antiques and has been in the vintage community for years. She says she felt this piece of information was missing for those who share the same love. It took her about 6 months to compile a list of events and stores, but now this directory is printed and free of charge. Laram says there's something for everyone in the directory.
Everybody in Montana likes something old. It can depend on fun, funky, very authentic, but we all seem in Montana to like old things, all ages. So I wanted a publication that would suit everybody, that would help us find the missing shops and events that we didn't know about so that we can participate.
The publication is free and a digital version can be found online at mtantiquesvintage.com. If you would like